So in our last video we have studied the expression. Now we will further means investigate or rather continue our investigation. So in general the power equation is what I transpose V is equal to I transpose R I plus I transpose D L dt I, right? Now, this ITRI is the power dissipated, and this ITDL DTI means I transpose DL DTI must be the sum of the energy stored plus energy converted to mechanical form. Like is stored plus converted to mechanical energy. Now, if we consider a small finite displacement delta theta that occurs in a time delta t, then with a corresponding change of inductance delta L, the initial stored energy will be how much? And what about the final stored energy? That is, I'm trying to make them more prominent because I just want to make sure that you understand they are not scalar, rather these two I are I transpose and I are vector and this is a matrix. So that lead us to right. The increase in stored energy is thus how much? Increase in stored energy is this is the increased in stored energy. Now delta t, if you understand that delta t is a scalar. So therefore what we can write is that this half I transpose delta L by delta t to I can be written like as if this application of this delta t here is like you are multiplying all the entries by p operator, or means allowing p operator to operate on all the entries. Basically if we put this limit then we get this, right? Now the power that is stored in this form is that therefore half this much. So consequently the power that is being converted is how much? it will be now. uh, we must understand that L is not again the dependency, explicit and implicit dependency comes in picture, come in picture. Like L doesn't depend on, it is not like there is a coil whose number of turns is going to vary, or there is something that is the material that is there inside the coil. It's like a magnetic plunger that is moving inside the coil, means not magnetic plunger, just keep it aside. Like there is nothing that as if you started with some material, and then you can notice or you can express the inductor inductance variation continuously with respect to time. Rather, the inductance variation is quite means better to say analytic function of the angle, the physical, or better to say the mechanical position of the system, their orientation. They are not really like, let me give you one example. Suppose you take one moving iron meter. Now, for certain voltage, it shows a particular deflection. Now, as long as you are keeping that voltage to that particular value, the deflection won't change, and thereby the L, the value of particular inductance you have for your pointer being pointed at a particular value is constant, and that has nothing to do with time. Once you change the voltage, that will change the current, that will change the torque, that will change the angle also, and thereby the inductance. So that is what makes sense, that it is not, the inductance is not the function of time, rather the inductance is a function of the orientation of the two moving part, or better to say in a more technical term, the geometry of the circuit. And the geometry of the circuit is given by our theta. So this gives us right. The angular velocity theta dot is a scalar, because obviously we are assuming that we are having one moving part or one dimension of freedom is here. So thereby it is like to obtain, if you want to obtain the power for this is the power from two-phase machine, sorry, two-pole machine. So what, why two-pole machine? I am using the torque while finding out the torque. I am using two-pole because in case of number of pole is more than the two, then you must consider the relation between mechanical angle and electrical angle. So for two pole, what you will have, right? Now for a machine with P pole, what you need to do? The power converted would be divided by the mechanical angular velocity. So mechanical angular velocity will be how much? Theta dot by P. So your torque expression will be what? That will be P by 2 or any arbitrary number P. right? Oh, well, I just forgot to mention that this one is like not p pole, rather p pole pairs. So for two pole, it will be one pole pair. Then we can match this equation. Okay. Well, now uh, now we'll see that the transformation of del L del theta. So for different cases, we have different value of del L del theta, particularly for our salient pole machine. So the torque expression of that elements of this the transformation of right. So for this salient pole machine, what you will get if you do it, it will give you sine square theta, and here LD minus LQ sine 2 theta by 2. Here it is LD sine square theta plus LQ cos square theta. Here also LD minus LQ. We know this must be symmetric. 2 theta by 2 LDD cos theta LDD cos theta LDD sin theta LDD sin theta LDD. Right. So if you differentiate, then what you will get? You will get minus LD minus LQ sine 2 theta LD minus LQ cosine 2 theta LD minus LQ sine 2 theta 0 minus LDD sin theta LDD cosine theta LDD cosine theta minus LDD sin theta and here LD minus LQ cosine 2 theta, right? So now we can convert it in our DQ uh, D frame. So how should we do that? This was our that conversion matrix. So let me copy it there. Oh God. Just a minute. So it should be like del L del theta here it will be cosine theta minus cosine theta sine theta sine theta 0 0 0 0 1, right? So if we multiply this, then what we will get? We will get you can do it by yourself also, that is not a big deal. I'm just writing it for your convenience. So if you accidentally play this video and have patience to watch this accidentally, and even I cannot imagine it in my remote dream that you do all this by yourself. But still, if you do it by yourself, by those calculation and try to check whether these values, whatever I'm writing, is correct or not, then this may you may find this bit means helpful for you. right? So the complete transformation, how you get this complete transformation? By doing this, I'm not writing term by term. You can figure out this is C transpose and this one is del L del theta C. Means these will come here and pre-multiplied by C transpose. So that will result something very interesting. Zero LD minus LQ minus LD minus LQ 0 0 minus LDD LDD 0. So we have this representation. IQ ID, right? Now we will try to derive the torque expression from our means that previous equation which we studied, that is V, oh God, V is equal to R I. Here V is also a vector. So from this equation, we need to figure out the expression of this, like this is the voltage equation after its transformation to stationary reference frame. It becomes, or it takes this shape. Now here what we can do is that if we multiply the whole thing by I transpose, then that must give us the expression of power. Just a minute. So that will be IT. Right. The left hand side of this equation, this is the total power. Now right side, obviously we need to means consider this term. This is the power loss, as we know. Uh, this is the something. This clearly gives us some power that is being stored in magnetic field. However, the last term is clearly it is not the power that is neither being stored nor being dissipated. It is somewhere, somehow it is there. So what is this power indicating? This power is your actually the power that is converted to mechanical form. Now, obviously, if you want the torque, what you need to do, the torque can only be find out by dividing it. Obviously, again and again, I am telling you that this is true for like single degree of freedom system means only shaft is moving. Say if you consider a rotating machine, then the shaft is moving and moving in a single direction. It is not like the shaft is moving in one direction and there is another motion, independent motion involved in your system. This theta dot is a scalar, not a vector. That is why we can have this privilege of dividing it by this. So clearly this is our torque matrix. Now one interesting things that is here, that apparently the torque expression of torque is independent of your angular speed. How much this claim is correct and how much this is means or there is something underlying fact that we are missing here that we need to understand. Right. Now we can use this expression of torque whenever the axes are stationary. Axes are stationary means that they are raised means the axes are not moving. Now if we consider that like means in our case what is our G matrix? G matrix is something like, if you ask me to write, then it will be excuse me. So now what we need to do is that we have to make sure that like if we compare the expression, then what we will see that the expression that we derive from dl d theta is this one, where it goes, yeah, this was like, where is that expression of dl d theta? Yeah, this is the expression of dl d theta in dq frame. What we got, this, right? And what we are now having here, now we are having this. So what you can conclude from this two, like here what is your g, that is clearly that is not is equal to del L del theta, nor even half del L del theta. Now both these torque expressions reduces to what means, see here, if you consider finally this will give you a scalar, na? When you will do it, this will give you a scalar. And what about that scalar? If we consider this, it will give you, I'm talking about all these three terms together. Well, I'm suffering with high fever, so I'm not getting my full energy to explain. Now, if you do this multiplication, what you will see that id square, there is no item. IQ means cross item. We are having a few cross items like this one. Let me write using different color. Minus LD minus LQ, that is present here, so it will get support from means this should be multiplied by IQ, and here sorry, IQ ID, right? So it will be accompanied by ID IQ, as these two are scalar current, so they can be suitably interchanged as per requirement. And similarly here you are having ID and IQ. If you are not getting how I am able to doing this calculation, do understand that this particular element, this gentleman, he will always means work on this, and this gentleman will work on this. The next one, IQ, it will, if you allow this multiplication, it will multiply with this. If you allow this one, it will multiply with this, and accordingly you can understand. So what we will get is very simple, that minus LDD ID square, sorry, no, not ID square, yeah. Now let me check here what we are getting. Here we are getting again following the same rule. This will produce what? This will produce minus LD ID IQ minus LQ IQ I sorry plus LQ IQ ID and minus LDD IQ ID. So although G is not is equal to del L del theta, but the torque calculated from this two way, we are getting the same amount of torque, right? So this is an interesting observation. This difference takes place just because of this considering two different reference frames we are considering. Now that another thing that we should understand here is that just a minute. So now how to these are giving us same result, but these are not same. What makes it difference? These small difficulties we can overcome. As you know, any matrix, any square matrix, you must understand this that any square matrix A can be represented as A symmetric plus A skew symmetric. What is a symmetric matrix? I hope you know. Skew symmetric matrix example is this. The diagonal elements, off diagonal elements that are equal but means negative of each other. It could be two. There is an example of skew symmetric matrix. So what I am trying to tell, suppose a matrix you are having that is not symmetric in that sense. Yeah, it is somewhat like 2, 4, 1, 5. Clearly this is not a symmetric one. However, what we can do is that we can represent them as a combination of symmetric and skew symmetric matrix. How? Let us try to show you. Okay, just a minute. Let me change the entries. Otherwise, just give me a minute. Okay, so here you can see that this is a matrix. I'm going to write the first, I'm going to write the symmetric matrix. So that will be half. First, we need to place the diagonal elements. Now for off diagonal elements, what we will do for construction of symmetric matrix, we will add them and divide them by 2. So as it is add, so add is always commutative. So 4 plus 2, that will be give you 6. Here 6, 6. Then here 6 plus 3, 9, 9. Here 9 plus 8, 17, 17. Now this one will be what? Skew symmetric. Again here it will be 157. However, for off diagonal element, unlike the first one, here what we should do, we must obtain 4 minus 2, that is 2. Here it will be minus 2. Mane, for this element it is 4 minus its off diagonal element, for this it is 2 minus 4. Similarly for here it is 6 minus 3, 3. For here it is 3 minus 6 minus 3. Similarly here it is 1, here it is minus 1. Now if you add these two, you will get this matrix. Now let us back to our case of our original G matrix. What was G? G was clearly this is not symmetric, but if we divide it in symmetric and skew symmetric part, what we will get? This will be half. Same thing. Here it will be L for symmetric, just addition. Both side LQ minus LD, LQ minus LD. And this side it will be minus LDD, minus LDD. Right. This is the symmetric part. Now for asymmetric part, asymmetric part will be what? Asymmetric part will be just the same thing we will do, but here it will be LQ plus LD. Here it will be minus LD plus LQ. Then here it will be minus LDD. Here it will be plus LDD. But problem with this, when you will do the multiplication of this symmetric and asymmetric part, you will see that the asymmetric part or skew symmetric, sorry, not asymmetric, I just make a mistake in selecting correct word. This is G symmetric, this is skew symmetric, not asymmetric. Asymmetric means different, it is skew symmetric. Now when we will do this, like T is equal to I transpose G I, then you will see that it will result in I transpose G symmetric I plus I transpose G skew symmetric I, right? However, this part will become 0. Therefore, we will have only I transpose G symmetric I. Now, if you consider the elements of G symmetric, this is the elements of G symmetric. Now you go back to the element of L. What was our L? Yeah, this was our L, means in transform frame this was our L. Now see that what about our G symmetric part? G symmetric is exactly same as L, so basically there is no such means confusion either. Anyway, one thing we need to understand that in the preceding analysis what we have done so far, that all these are instantaneous or DC current. DC means instantaneous current is always DC current, means it is always flowing in a particular direction, right? It is not alternate. When it will become alternating, when you will allow it to means flow for a certain time means certain time span, then it may exhibit its alternating nature. But as long as you are considering its instantaneous value, it is just almost like a DC current. So this is the real current in the mathematical sense, and its value is also real, because means if you consider the three values, they do not means what to say, they do not subtend any angle from each other, they cannot be represented by phasors, right? However, in case of steady state AC condition, we must consider the, what we know, that power, for calculation of power we need to multiply with the voltage with complex conjugate I transpose, right? And we take the real part of that I transpose G, but we should take the real part of this, like this is for steady state. Now whether this is incorrect or correct, this is also correct, because in these means having three different values, they together form a vector, but these two values means if I give you distinct values like 1.25 to 3.5, something like that, at a particular instance, it is difficult for you to understand how this 1.5, 2 and 3.5 are related to each other. However, if I give you a complete wave shape like this, right? In that case you can make some assumption that for that case, if I give you three values, when you have all these curves and you can see that at a particular instance we are having these values, then in the another instance we are having these values, or at some other instance we are having these values, then you can figure out they are 120-degree phase apart. But if only these three values, say if I give you this set of data at a given time point, or somewhere here, sorry, here, here, if I give you these three values, then can you say what means, does it make sense if I ask you to take its conjugate? Of, of course not. So that is the difference between instantaneous. This is instantaneous. So in instantaneous we do not take any such conjugate. We will discuss more on this when we will consider, means there will be a complete analysis on our this balanced representation. Now, and for direction of torque, you know that the same logic we can apply for generator. There will be counter torque that is trying to oppose the prime mover, and for motor it will be the torque that is going to drive your system. So from next video onwards we will discuss more on transformation of different, means different electrical frames. First we will discuss a few common frame like stator frame, synchronously rotating frame, rotor frame. All these frames are very important. So those who are following my lectures, I am requesting them to please watch the next lecture at least, because that you may not be available commonly in normal cases. So you watch that, and then we will discuss how those transformation can suitably be applied on our this torque expression. And another thing, as you can see from our syllabus also, I have given 14 lectures dedicated for this, because this is one of the very important concept that we must understand. If we do not understand this generalized theory, you will not be able to apply those past and other transformation in your future. Even if you do not do work in electrical machine, you do work in power electronics, but you will find a good number of application of those spark, Clark and other means transformation.